Well, so many Marylanders have the luxury of living off the Chesapeake Bay, but our next guest, Matthew Rutherford, actually lives on the water and works on the water and researches the water. Tell us about the Ocean Research Project, Matthew. So the Ocean Research Project was created in 2012, and we mostly focus on the issue of plastic trash in our oceans. And we do some other stuff here in the Bay and also globally. But our big focus for the last 2 years, we've done 16,000 miles of plastics research in the middle of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. And you do find a lot. I mean, so there is no such thing as an island of garbage in the ocean, which is an important thing for people to understand. If there was an island of garbage in the ocean, it would be all right. We know where it is. Let's just go clean it up. Right. The problem is it's this. This is what happens when you drag a net that is 2 feet wide for 10 miles in the middle of the Atlantic. There are literally thousands of pieces of plastic within this. And you said one-time use plastic? And this is so half of the plastic trash in the ocean comes from one-time use plastic. So you walk into a 7-Eleven, you get yourself a cup of coffee, you stir it with that little black stir stick. You will use that stir stick for 5 seconds of your life. But even after you're dead, that stir stick will still be on this planet. So we are using materials that, for one-time use that can be here for hundreds of years. And the reason for that is it's cheap and convenient, and that's really the bottom line for why we use these materials. And you said it's also harming the fish. Well, the problem is there are pollutants within these plastics. There's carcinogenics, POPs, PCBs, fire retardants. So the fish eat these little pieces. It looks like little fish food almost. They absorb these chemicals into their tissue. The big fish eat a lot of little fish. We eat the big fish. We end up absorbing our own pollutants and carcinogenics through this problem. And, you know, we already had mercury. You remember that thing with fish? And now we got to worry about cancer-causing agents that we get through this process. So it affects the ocean, it affects the birds, and it ultimately affects us. Tell me about your next big project and where you're going. You got something big coming up. So in about a month, we're heading up to the Arctic. We're going to do some plastics research up there because none has ever been done. So it'll be really interesting to see what we do find in this really desolate environment. But we'll also be working with the Smithsonian doing ocean acidification research, and we're working with NASA looking at salinity levels. And this means we're trying to figure out how much fresh water is melting from the glaciers and how that affects the salt water in the region. So we're doing a wide variety of research. So it's got to be fulfilling work. I mean, what point in your life did you decide that this is what you want to do? So in 2011, I left the Chesapeake Bay and I sailed around the Americas nonstop, single-handed. So I spent 309 days alone at sea and sailed 27,077 miles nonstop on a boat so small I couldn't even stand up in it without hitting my head. And so, and I'm the only person in history who's pulled it off. So I came back from this trip. I got the sailing bug. You know, I'm never going to stop sailing. So I decided I should do this in a way that's going to give back to the ocean. And a sailboat makes for a very good, low-cost research platform. And, you know, technologies are increasing. They're getting smaller. Research equipment's getting smaller, less power-hungry. We can do research from a sailboat today you could have never done 15 years ago. So just imagine in another 15 years what we're going to be capable of. So would you say that you're raising awareness or empowering people to do something about it? Yeah, so we shoot footage during these expeditions. We're making an educational-based documentary. We work with the Anne Arundel County school system. We talk with little middle school kids when we're doing our trip, and we have high school interns. We try to work as much as possible with the schools and plant the seed while they're young. You know, middle school kids is such a great age, you know, for teaching them about this issue. So we do try to help teach people about this. Can people track you? Yes, there's a tracking device, oceanresearchproject.org. If you go to the website, you can follow on our expedition. It'll be about a 100-day, 8,000-mile expedition to the Arctic. We'll sail north until we physically cannot sail north anymore, until the ice stops us. Matthew Rutherford, thanks for coming in. Thanks for having me. And hey, if you want to read much more about his adventure and how they're trying to change the world, head to our website, abctnews.com/change. Thanks for coming in.